Hey there, it's Tracy with Trixie Scraps coming at you with the next episode of Scraps Saturday. This is my weekly series where I work on a layout for my personal family albums and hopefully show you some tips, tricks, and techniques along the way. So today I'm going to be working on a layout of one of my ancestors. If I don't know if I've covered this before or not, but my husband and I are big Ancestry buffs, and we've been working on doing a massive family tree that covers both sides of our families. Um, and so I've been digging back pretty far on mine, and just recently, in the last 6 months or so, came across my first relative who was a veteran of the Civil War. So I was pretty excited when I found out about that. His name was John B. Eisenhart, and he was my 3 times great grandfather on my maternal side, I believe. Yes, on my mom's side of the family. He goes back from there. So I have a couple of pictures. They're not great. They're not my pictures. I have a few things that I grabbed from Ancestry.com, different records that we have found through that website. I also have the story of the infantry that he was in, so that's going to be part of my journaling. But the other thing that's exciting, hopefully, about this video is that this is actually going to go up the day before the May buffet sale at GingerScraps. Let me talk right. The May buffet sale at GingerScraps starts. So you guys are going to get a little bit of a, or maybe a lot of bit, of a sneak peek here at the kit that I have coming out. It is my first ever military kit. So without further ado, ta-da! That's what I have made for this month. And of course, there's extra pieces, and I'll show them as I work with them during this video. I'm not going to do a complete collection reveal because I plan to do a separate video for that. So I'm not going to take up time today during this video doing that. But there will be a separate video that I post. It'll be on my Facebook wall, on my blog, and here on my YouTube channel. So you'll be able to find it. But I will go ahead and show you some of the stuff at least while I'm working on this layout. So yeah, my team member Mary Kate. Hi, Mary Kate. She is a military wife, and she has been bugging me for. I apologize, my phone keeps going off. Let me turn it on to mute here. Um, she has been on my team for a while and has probably been bugging me for 3 years, 4 years. Mary Kate, correct me if I'm wrong. For a military kit. And I have to be honest, I've had family members who were in the military. I've actually, my uncle was in the Navy, my grandfather was in the Navy. Um, and of course, we have other family members going back through history, but I don't have any direct experience with it myself, and so the theme was kind of intimidating and daunting for me. But this palette that popped up for the GingerScraps May Buffet sale just seemed to be perfect for this kind of theme. And Mary Kate once again begged me, and so I had to finally relent. So I'm hoping that you like how it turned out. If you do happen to be a military spouse or, a military family, I hope that I've done you justice with this. I really tried very hard to be as inclusive as I could of 4 of the branches. A Coast Guard kit wouldn't really fit in with this, but I think the majority of the people that shop with me are probably looking for Army, Navy, Marines, and Air Force kits. I don't know if I have too many customers who have use for a Coast Guard kit. So someday in the future, maybe I'll do a Coast Guard specific add-on for all of this. But for now, I've got those 4 branches covered in this collection, and I'm going to stop chattering because this is way too much chatter. So I'm going to, let's see, we'll start with a blank page. I'm not going to use a template today because I have a lot of like weird things here because of the different PDFs and stuff that I grabbed from Ancestry. So I think I just need to start from scratch. And I kind of have a general idea of about what I want to do. So let's just get started. I'm going to go ahead and do my usual thing that I do here and make some lay out a general idea of what I want the, oops, not pixels, we want inches, what I want the, at least the photo layout to look like. because that always helps me to have them kind of laid out, and then from there I can kind of tweak the sizes. And yeah, let's see, what do I want to do with this one? Let's make this one 4.5 by 2.75. So how are you guys doing? I hope you've had a good week recently. I have been doing okay. I'm recovering from my foot injury. I'm still not quite back to working out. I'm still trying to take it easy, but I don't have to wear my boot anymore, which is a good thing. I'm not going to complain about that. And let's see. Let's go like that, and then let's do two more that are kind of 3.5 by 2. Let's do it like this. And you see those little pink guides that pop up? Those are my smart guides. If you guys don't know how to use those, they're under here. You go View, Show, Smart Guides. And I have them turned on pretty much continually because they help me line things up. I'm going to change the colors on some of these so it's a little bit more clear what I'm doing as I work. Yeah, so that's good enough. Okay, now we have to decide where the photos are going to go, and this is kind of, I don't have it centered yet. I think I'm going to probably have it centered on the page, sort of. Maybe like top of center here, something like that. You guys get where I'm going with it. I'm going to close this preview now, but you'll see some things as I work on this layout. This, like I said, is not my photo. I found this, some kind soul had shared it online, but this is the cemetery where this particular relative is buried. And my husband and I are soon going to be going back to the East Coast for my 40th birthday, which is so thrilling, not. And we're actually going to be stopping in Virginia, Maryland to see some family down there, and then driving up to New Jersey. And we've talked about maybe going up. We've discussed back and forth. I don't know whether we're going to be going up Highway 95 or 81. If we go up 81, we're kind of going to sort of go past where this cemetery is. So there's a little part of me that's a little interested in maybe stopping by to see if I can find his grave and take some pictures of my own, because yeah, there's not really too many good pictures online, and I can't find any pictures of him at all. He died in when did he die? He died in 1899, I think it was. He died in 1899. So it's, I guess there wasn't really a lot of pictures taken back then, and I have not had a lot of luck finding pictures of him, so it is what it is. Okay, so what I have here from Ancestry is, this is his pension card, Civil War pension card, and it shows the name of his wife and his unit that he was in, his regiment, and the date. Is this the date? The date it was filed? Somewhere in here. I don't know, I'm just fascinated by this stuff. I don't know why. I think it's so interesting. But and then this is his burial card, which shows that he was buried in Oddfellow Cemetery in Shenandoah, Pennsylvania, in Schuylkill County. I wish that it had the date of birth and date of death on here, but that's okay because I have them. And that he's got a headstone slab and, whatever else. I just think this stuff is fascinating. And then this last thing I have is a veterans schedule, which I thought was kind of neat too. And the reason that I liked this and thought this was cool is because it shows how many months and days he served. So he didn't serve for a very long amount of time, but I don't know. I just thought it was neat to have. It's kind of a cool thing. So like I said, I saved all these things from either online or from Ancestry. And this, some kind soul posted. I mean, I can't even believe that I can actually see his headstone. And it's not the best photo of it, but it's close. It's pretty cool. I was pretty excited about it when I found it. So I'm actually going to take this part of this and hide this. So I'm just drawing a marquee around it, and we're going to switch to my Actually, we're not going to switch to defaults because that doesn't look like it's pure white. I'm going to sample this color here, and then I'm just going to hit Shift and Backspace and go ahead and fill that with a foreground color because I wanted to cover that up. I think I'm going to keep this here and maybe try to plug this into this spot, but I don't know if it'll work. Yeah, it's kind of small. All right, let's try to plug it into this one. Okay, we need to do a little bit of work on this in order to get this to work. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my marquee tool and I'm going to take this section out, delete that section there, and then I'm going to redo my selection to this outside piece, switch back to my move tool and use my arrow keys to move this over. And then that'll make that fit in that spot a little bit better. Yeah, that should work a little bit better, hopefully, so that it's not getting cut off. Okay, we got that settled now the way that I want it to be. And let's see, we'll plug the rest of this stuff in here. I think that this will go, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and put this on pause for a second and finish plugging these things in because I don't want this to get too long and you guys don't need to see me clip photos to shape. So 1 second. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to show you what I've done with these. I put the, what was this called again? I don't remember. I have to go back and look at the names, but one of these was this was the pension card, this was a veteran schedule, that was it, and this was his burial card. So I could not get the burial card, these things to fit in the orientation that I was trying to go for with these photos, but it's not a big deal because watch what we're going to do. I have this burial card clipped to this, and you can see that it, you know, in order to make the whole thing fit, then I have too much on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to duplicate that layer, Control J, and I'm going to take that layer and let me change the color of the one underneath so you can follow what I'm doing. Okay. Now I'm going to take that layer and I'm going to shrink it down so it's the same size or just within the card that I clipped to it. Like that. And then we'll take the layer underneath that I duplicated and we will move that up to meet in the middle. And now I'll put a paper there. And that'll kind of just make everything kind of fit in that block that I wanted to use. Without cutting information off and stuff like that. So I think what I want to do, I'll lay out some more shapes and stuff here so you can see sort of what I'm thinking. I want to have a border, maybe a ribbon or a border of some sort on the top here. And ignore the other ugly colors I'm using. I just grabbed whatever was available in my colors palette up there. So I'm going to have a top and bottom border of a ribbon. And then I think I want to do, behind all of this, I'm going to do a rounded rectangle, I think. Sort of, not a rectangle, but a square, maybe. And I want a bigger radius on that. So that's where you change your radius up here. This is probably self-explanatory. Probably don't need to narrate everything I'm doing. You guys know what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then I think I am going to duplicate that and maybe tilt it a little bit, sort of like that. And then we'll have a background color. Yeah, I kind of like how that looks. We're going to take this whole section here, move this down a little bit. And my journaling is going to go down here. And now you might see I have over to the side here, this is from a book, and I probably should go, before I finish the page, I'll go relook at the author of the book and kind of give them credit in my journaling. But this excerpt is from a book about the Civil War and about the Pennsylvania infantries. So it tells me a little bit about what my particular 3 times great-grandfather's infantry was doing when they were in service. And then this I found on a website I just took a screenshot of it real quick. It lists a little bit more detail of what they, like the specific dates, what they did from one date to the next. So I thought that was kind of cool. I was really fascinated to learn that for 12 days they were pursuing General Lee, which I thought was pretty neat. That I had a relative who was, part of tracking him down and trying to catch him. So, you know, if you're a history buff, if you like this kind of stuff, that's probably pretty thrilling. If you don't care about that kind of stuff, you're like, oh my god, she's boring me. I'm gonna go to sleep. Sorry, sorry. But you guys tell me, are you Ancestry buffs? Do you enjoy researching your genealogy and learning about the things that your ancestors did during their time? Because I just think that it is fascinating. So let's make these icons larger so you can see what we're doing here. Okay, we're going to go with that khaki and green star pattern there. Changing my mind on the color of the background. Okay, so I'm going to use that solid, I think, just to kind of make sure that there's not a lot of competition for the actual information on the page. But I want to use one of my cardstocks for the background. And wait, let me go back. I think I want to do this camouflage for this little peak of paper that's sticking out here. So let's set that first. And this layer here, I think I'm actually going to duplicate it and set it to screen to kind of lighten, not dodge, not lighten screen. And then we're going to lower the fill a little bit. I just want to lighten that paper up just a tad for this. Okay, and then that background, go back and we'll pick out a cardstock. And I believe I want to go with this charcoal color like that. I think that'll set all of that off really well. Okay, so now we have that done. There is going to be some journaling. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do a journal box or just kind of journal straight on this paper yet. Let me add some shadows so that this starts to look a little better. Now, after seeing all of this, I think what I'm going to do is take this entire block and make it go edge to edge, because I think that'll look nicer. Just like that. What do you guys think? I think I like that. Okay, I think I want the title of this page to be Civil War Veteran. And I'm going to use the alpha in the kit to spell out Civil War. Let's see, and I think I'm going to do all caps on that. Civil War. A-R. Okay, so we'll bring this in. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ancestry.com or not, but I have had an account with them for probably, gosh, 6 or 7 years now, I think. And like I said, Eric and I have been working on doing a massive family tree. Eric was fortunate on his side of the family because he has a relative who is a big genealogy buff, and he has researched quite a bit of Eric's family that's from Sweden, I believe. So he has some of his generational information back to, like, I want to say like the 600s, I think, or the 700s. It's crazy how far back it goes. But my family didn't really, I don't think, I mean, I'm not aware of it if we did have somebody who was doing it, but I'm pretty sure nobody in my family really has ever kept ancestry stuff on either side, really. I do have a relative, he's kind of a distant relative that lives out in California. His name is Thomas, and somehow my grandfather met him, and after my grandfather met him, he kind of hooked me up with him because he had a lot of information for my dad's side of the family, but there wasn't really too much being done for my mom's side of the family. So I feel like we have a family Bible that has some stuff in it, like things that were kept over the years. And my parents did actually just give that to me because I've taken such an interest in this. Oh, I didn't want to group that. I'm going to convert this to a smart object in case I decide I want to go back in and change the size of that. But yeah, I kind of like how that looks. And then we're going to do, I'm going to spell out veteran with a font. Let me pick one out real quick. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use this this font that I have, which is called, ooh, why'd I do that? Sorry, didn't mean to do that. We don't need pink glitter. It's called Australian Flying Core Stencil. So I'm not sure where I got that from, but I'll look, and if I can find it, I will link it in the description down below. It's probably from DeFont or something like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stroke this, and I don't really want that. I want it to kind of be more of like a creamy color, I guess. And I decide on a size. 25 is too much. Maybe 20. Yeah, 15 is good. I like that. And then I want to give that some texture, and you'll see that I stole it from a working file, but you guys could figure this out. We're going to right click on the effect and create a layer. You can only do this if you are working in Photoshop, but actually before I do that, I'll do it the right way in Photoshop. But if you're using Photoshop Elements, there's a nifty little way that you can work around this. You would duplicate the layer with the effect on it, then take the layer underneath and rasterize that layer style. And then you have that layer underneath that you could apply a layer style to. And then when you clip the layer on top, it works. So you're still able to see your texture or any bevel or anything that you do, as long as you clip that top layer down to the one that you have underneath that's already rasterized. So that's kind of how you work around not being able to create a new layer in Photoshop Elements. But now that I've shown you that, let's do it the right way here in Photoshop. I would right click on that effects and go create layer. And then this little layer here is, like I said, is from one of my working files as I was designing the kit. All it is basically is the texture that I'm going to put on this and a bevel for the edge, which you could do on your own if you wanted to. But I'm going to just paste that layer style on there. And then in order to get this actual text layer to pick up that texture, all you do is you clip that. And then you get the texture on that as well. And then actually sometimes one of the other things I'll do is I'll go in and I'll put an inner glow on this, and I usually go to black and set it to soft light, and you can increase the size a little bit if you want to, and then I always drop the opacity down because you don't want it to be like real dark. Usually somewhere around like a 35-40 looks good. So if I turn that on and off, you can see that it just kind of sets those letters off a little bit. It's just a little extra something. Okay, now that I have that done, I'm going to link those together so that they don't move and they stay together. And obviously this is now over his name, so I'm going to need to move that. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put the video on fast forward, and you'll be able to see the elements and stuff that I add here. So enjoy. You'll get to see this kit as it's coming out. If you're watching this video on the 30th, this collection comes out tomorrow, May 1st. Okay, guys, there you have it. This is my finished layout. I added clusters underneath the title and at the top right corner. I did shrink down all these other photos a little bit because I wanted to have that background graph paper kind of poking out from behind them. I replaced the borders with 2 ribbons, and then I did my journaling. You may have seen during the video that I did a text path for that, which is something that you can only do in Photoshop, not Photoshop Elements. But I did a custom text path, so it kind of wrapped around all these different things. And then I added a tab at the bottom so that I could document when I did the layout and the journaling. And of course, told the story of my relative who was a Civil War veteran. So that's everything for today. I appreciate you watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe to my channel so you never miss another episode. And as always, if you have questions, leave them for me down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.